Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are here to take a look at another thing involving Pokemon on the channel. Now, in our previous video we looked at what I thought were some of the best Pokemon games, and today we're going to take a look at what I think are some of the best starter Pokemon. So in front of us here we have all the starter Pokemon from the main games, starting from 1st gen all the way to 8th gen. The crazy thing is I remember a very similar picture of this when it was just these four rows here, and then when these three just came out, like when they just got announced, they didn't even have their English names yet, and I remember printing that out and putting it on the wall in the dining room of my house, where I used to live. Had that taped to the wall for a while. It was really cool, so it's very interesting to look at it now and see all the Pokemon here. So of course, we start with 1st gen, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. The most known starter Pokemon probably of all of these. And then we got Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile, Trico, Torchic, and Mudkip, Turtwig, Chimchar, Piplup, Snivy, Tepig, and Oshawott, Chespin, Fennekin, Froakie, Rowlett, Litten, and Popplio, and the newest ones, Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble. So what I'm going to do is go through here and pick my favorite from each one, and then from each generation, and then we'll narrow it down to those 8, and then we'll sort of see from each generation which one I like the best. One note to this, we're also including Pikachu and Eevee, as they are lots of times considered starters because they are. So to get that one out of the way pretty quickly, Pikachu over Eevee. Eevee's lame as hell, dude. That's an easy choice. Alright, get rid of Eevee right away. So starting with 1st gen though, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. I personally am a Charmander stan. Not gonna lie. Never really got into the whole Bulbasaur thing. Venusaur is kinda cool. Couldn't really get into it that much. Squirtle, decent Pokemon. Blastoise is pretty cool. It's mega. Actually, all three of them have really, really awesome megas, but I do prefer Charmander and Charizard. I know it's kind of normie to be like, I like Charmander, but Charmander's my favorite of all three. So we'll get rid of the other two. 2nd gen, we have Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile. This is where it gets a little bit harder for me. Because I'm not going to pick Totodile. I'll say Totodile's out. Didn't really get into Feraligatr that much. It's not that great. 2nd gen doesn't have battling potential for its evolutions. I'd say probably second gen here. Probably 5th gen. Probably 7th gen. I probably if I'm thinking of Pokemon to battle with, for starters, they're probably the least ones. For me, Chikorita really stands out as the Pokemon that I like now, and Meganium's pretty cool. But Cyndaquil being the first starter that I really picked in Pokemon Soul Silver 10 years ago. Playing through that, getting Typhlosion, being in every single version of the games that I've had besides Pokemon Sword. Probably going to have to go with Cyndaquil just on that. If I was going to pick one to battle with, though, I would pick Chikorita and Meganium. Now, this year's not obviously my starter order yet. Next, we go to 3rd gen. Now, 3rd gen is another one of those regions, very similar to 1st gen, where people have very, very strong opinions about which ones they like the best. Which lots of times is Mudkip. Lots of times I also see Torchic. But for me, it's Trico. The first Pokemon I ever actually battled in any game with was Trico in Pokemon Sapphire when I tried that out in the summer of 2010. And Sceptile's pretty dang. I wouldn't sleep on Sceptile. Dude is definitely out there. Again, if you want to have a good battling starter, though, you probably do want to go with Mudkip. or I think it was an event Blaziken that had like speed boost or something. That dude's wild too. But for me, Sceptile definitely stands out as the best starter. For me, I've always picked, in my first run through of any generation, or of every generation, besides 8th gen, I've always picked the grass or fire type starter first. Fun fact for you guys. So you probably see a lot of grass and fire through this. As you can see here, fire, fire, grass. Not counting Pikachu, which is electric. 4th gen, we head to that. Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup. On basis of what ones I like, Chimchar's out. Infernape's the least of my favorites. I've always loved Turtwig. Picked that dude in Pokemon Platinum when I played through that the first time. Turtwig's my go-to. I do love Piplup and Empoleon. Piplup, actually, fun fact, Piplup and Oshawott are like my mom's favorite two Pokemon. I actually got a Piplup sticker recently. I bought that for her. But besides the fact of that, I think Piplup and Empoleon are really cool. But I gotta go with Turtwig. My thing for generations, real quick, before we continue with that, is most generations I do like the water types, probably besides 2nd gen, but I most of the time wouldn't pick them. That was like my second option to typically the grass. I like the grass types probably the best of any. Like looking through here, I really like all these grass types besides Chespin. And for fire types, I like the first two, and then it kind of falls off for me, really. I really like the grass and water types the most, but I've typically picked the fire. I typically am a grass type starter person, I guess. We can say that. It's typically where I lean. So we're going to go with Turtwig here. Next generation, we go to Gen 5. Snivy, Tepig, and Oshawott. Knew right away when the 5th gen starters got revealed, I was going to pick Snivy. Snivy's super cool. Superior isn't that good. None of these are really battling starters. You don't ever see somebody saying, can't wait to use my Pig or Emboar, and I can't wait to use my Samurott or my Superior, but they are interesting, and I gotta say I go with Snivy. Definitely Oshawott, on factor of how cool it is, would be the best, but overall, I go with Snivy. We don't really fuck with those starters, though, but guess we go with Snivy, I guess. This is where it falls off. These two generations were not great for starters for me, personally. I think the hardest decision, though, is going to be 7th gen. 6th gen. This is the first generation we're getting to where I'm actually going to swap from the initial starter that I picked. Every generation, the first one that I picked in the original game, my first run through was the one that I picked. Every single one so far. Charmander, picked the first time I played a 1st or 2nd gen or whatever generation I picked that starter. First time I played a Johto game, I picked Cyndaquil. First time I played this Hoenn game, it was Turtwig. First time I played a Sinnoh game, or was Trico. First time I played a Sinnoh game was Turtwig. First time I played a Unova game was Snivy. But the first time that I played a Kalos game, it was Fennekin. And that was a mistake. I absolutely hate Chespin, and Fennekin's right up there. They're both pretty bad. So, I went with Froakie, which Greninja ended up being one of my favorite Pokemon, actually. I love Protein Greninja. That dude is super, super dank, and I hope that when they have the expansion pass for Pokemon Shield, that Greninja is allowed in, because I will use Greninja all the time. So, Froakie, easy pick there. Our first Water-type starter getting represented, we have 3 Grass types and 2 Fire types, 1 Electric type, and 1 Water type. So now we go to 7th gen. Probably my least favorite generation of all of them. Probably 7th and 1st are my least favorite generations. So, how do I feel for 7th gen Pokemon? Litten looks cool. I love black cats. Jewel, Fiesta, Soul. Pictures over there. Of course, I've always loved black cats. But Litten's cool. But its evolution, Incineroar, is completely whack, and I do not like that dude. So that brings me to Rowlett and Popplio. Now, I picked Rowlett in Pokemon Moon. And Pokemon Ultra Sun, I picked Popplio. I do, honestly, for Pokemon from 7th gen, I did say in my previous video the only one that I liked was Dusk Form Lycanroc. But I do like Descendui, and I do like Primarina. They're both kind of cool. So that makes it hard considering the fact that I don't like the generation, but I do like 2 of the final evolutions of starters. Decisions. This is one that was hard to come into and pick. Honestly, this is probably the hardest to pick. Because I do like Popplio and I do like Rowlett. I'm going to think on that one and come back to it in a second. We go now to 8th gen, though. And Scorbunny, not a big fan of. Don't like Cinderace or whatever its final evolution's called. Not a big fan. So we come here to having Grookey and Sobble. Or Grookey, Sobble. Now, I did play Pokemon Sword with Sobble as my starter, and I did trade to get a Grookey. So I did play with both of them in that game. So I did have a Inteleon and a Rillaboom to finish the game. And I used Grookey. I don't really think I used it as a Grookey. I know I used it as a Thwackey. But, yeah. So, for me, it's going to be Sobble. I do like Grookey. Dude's pretty cool to use as well. But Sobble is my choice. I'm a big fan of Sobble. Probably of all the water types, Froakie and Sobble are my favorite too. Sobble's very high on my list of starter Pokemon that I like. And Inteleon's probably my favorite 8th gen Pokemon. I did actually buy a Sobble Nintendo Switch controller, and I put a Sobble sticker on the back of my car. Fun fact, with this exact picture. So, that does mean that we have Sobble moving forward. So that brings us back to 7th gen Rowlett and Popplio. I'm leaning towards Popplio just because I like Primarina. I like that it's a fairy type starter Pokemon as a secondary type. So we're going to go with Popplio. So that leaves us with fire types as Charmander, Cyndaquil. Grass types with Trico, Turtwig, and Snivy. And then Froakie, Popplio, and Sobble. So we're finishing strong with the water type Pokemon for starters. Which is very interesting because I've always thought of myself as honestly picking fire type starters, but I was only the first generation. I really lean towards grass and water types, which is interesting. I guess when I used to think about it, I always lean to grass and fire, but the last couple generations have been, those starters. So, now we're going to start a Pokemon and we're going to rank these. Now, ranking them here, Pikachu is going to be last. I only threw Pikachu on here because Pikachu and Eevee are technically starter Pokemon in games. They're not really starters in main series, but they kind of are. Again, depending on what you consider, let's go Pikachu and let's go Eevee. main series games, but Pikachu is a starter in a main series game. Pokemon Yellow is main series, so Pikachu is definitely a starter Pokemon. But when I think of starters, I don't really think of Pikachu. So, ranking this list, this is hard because these are all Pokemon that I really, really like. These 8, again, these are the Pokemon that you pick to start a video game, so I do like all of these Pokemon. It's very hard to narrow it down. But I guess to start, my least favorite of all of them would be Snivy. If I had to go there, Snivy's the easy out. Okay, so that there is 5th gen taken care of. Oh, man. It's hard to put Sobble anywhere because I played the game so recently that I do have like a slight bias, recency bias. That's the thing that happens with the recent thing. You're like, oh, that's cool, it's one. Whether or not it is different and difficult to say. It's hard for me to say Sobble's a better starter than Cyndaquil when I used Cyndaquil 10 years ago. And I used Sobble a week and a half ago. Or any of these, Popplio I used 2017. That's the last time I picked a starter before. So, 2017 was a couple years ago. Before that was Froakie, which I didn't technically use, but, Or for Snivy, that was 2011. I used Turtwig. I used Trico in 2014. Turtwig and Cyndaquil and Charmander all in 2010. Like, it's hard to say I used this Pokemon in 2020. It's better than this Pokemon that I used in 2010. But either way, looking at that, it is hard to rank it that way, but we'll see. Next on this list, though, battling-wise, like, I love Typhlosion, but that Pokemon mainly has the connection because it was the first one that I had, not necessarily me saying Typhlosion's a good Pokemon, because I know it's not. So we'll put Typhlosion there next, or Cyndaquil. Because when I rank this, I'm also ranking its evolution line, so let's just point that out. We're just starting with the main one, the starter Pokemon. I'm going to put Popplio next. Popplio is cool, but these ones are next up. So we got Charmander, Trico, Turtwig, Froakie, and Sobble. So Charmander, Trico, Froakie, Sobble? Oh no, wait, it's Charmander, Trico, Turtwig, Froakie, Sobble. Okay. Ooh, this is tough. I didn't think this would be that tough to do. Oh boy. Oh boy. The best starter Pokemon. Yikes. Ooh. It gets hard when you narrow it down to your favorite from each region and then say, you gotta choose between Charmander, Trico, Turtwig, Froakie, and Sobble. Like, those are my favorite of all of them. Like, those 5? Ooh. I'll put Charmander next. It's difficult, but Charmander's going next. That was the easiest of the 4 to narrow down. Let me pick between these two. Let's throw these two out of the way for now, Froakie and Sobble. We'll pick the better grass type. Let's order those two, I guess. Then it leaves us with Froakie and Sobble. Oh my god, this is hard, dude. I need to see like a Trico. Like, what are we looking at here? Cerebi, like, bro. Bring me to 7th gen, dude. Look at this dude. But then we got Turtwig at the same time, like look at Torterra. Oh my god, that dude is so dang, bro. Like, it's coming down to which one of these dudes is cooler. Oh my god. This is some of the Pokemon that I've liked for the longest, so this is what makes it even harder. Like, it's Sceptile or Torterra. Yeah. Alright. Why did it do that, dude? Trico. Turtwig. Alright, next it comes down to Froakie and Sobble. That's it. Basically, I'm saying, is one of these better than Grottle? Or not Grottle, Torterra. So if we go here, Greninja, I didn't spell that right, did I? No, there's not a C in there. So this is it. We got Torterra, we got Greninja, or we got Inteleon. God. I can feel the fucking recency bias coming in, bro. Part of me wants to say Inteleon's the best starter of all of them, but part of me says it's Greninja, dude. I'm gonna say Torterra's third. Like, that's the thing. What's better, Froakie or Sobble? From these two, I gotta say I like Sobble more. Like, just the look of the two of them. But, like, counting overall, like, Greninja and Protein Greninja and all that stuff, like, that dude is a beast. Now, we're not gonna count Ash Greninja. That shit's fucking stupid. But standard Greninja, that dude is wild, bro. Oh god, Ash Greninja is yikes. But what is it? Oh my god, Inteleon, bro. Inteleon or Greninja, dude. Oh my god. Bro, this... Oh my god. Bro, they both have awesome shinies, dude. Can we just acknowledge the shinies? Like, all black frog and, like, blue and pink lizard. Oh my god, dude. I'm leaning towards Sobble, dude. 100%. There honestly hasn't been a starter Pokemon that I've really... I don't know, I feel like it's... I haven't bought a controller with a starter Pokemon on it. Like, I got little figures, but I haven't bought a controller and put, like, a sticker on a car. I mean, granted, I've only had a car since a year, but I put a sticker on my car with that Pokemon. Like, bro, Sobble, Inteleon, those dudes are dank. I love Greninja. This is way too hard than it had to be. Like, Protein Greninja, dude. Like, this is just the fucking best, bro. I love Protein Greninja because that dude just becomes the type of the movie uses. That's so... Oh my god, that's awesome. I have that in my Pokemon home, and I really want to bring this dude over to Pokemon Sword. Please let us, Nintendo. And it put in Inteleon, dude. Dude is dank to use. Hidden ability is not as cool. But, like, damn it. Oh, this is so much harder than I thought it had to be. So much harder than I thought it had to be, dude. I thought this would be, like, an easy, like, decision. And I ended up picking the newest starter. Dude. I love Sobble. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. Honestly. I did not expect to like a 8th gem Pokemon as much as I do. Bro, Sobble's that dude. Sobble is that dude. I don't know where I'm putting the camera on the screen. I'm just looking at this real quick. Where's it going? Like right down in the bottom here? Like up? Damn it. Oh my god. This is way harder than I thought it had to be. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below if you think I'm wrong and why you think I'm wrong. Probably why I'm wrong as well. And we'll see you guys in the next one.